Carla, makikita mo naman, bagamat umuulan ngayong umaga ay talagang nag-uumpisa na ang operations dito sa Philippine Overseas Employment Administration. At sabi nga sa atin kanina ay alas 7 pa lang, no, ay meron ng serbisyo para sa mga balik manggagawa. Pero pagdating ng alas 8, yun na yung bukas talaga, no, ng buong opisina. So magiging busy dito.
Oo nga. Parang kanina pa pagdating natin, nakapila na sila. So
talaga naman makikita mo ang dedication ng ating mga overseas employees na makikita ninyo ngayon sa inyong mga screen. Pero umaga ay pag-uusapan natin at tungkol sa mga projects and accomplishments ng POEA nitong nakaraang taon. Makakasama natin para dyan si Administrator Hans Leo Cacdac ng POEA. Magandang umaga, Administrator.
Good morning sa inyo at sa inyong mga televiewers. Welcome to the POEA.
Administrator, siguro umpisahan muna natin sa basic basic na tanong lang. Ano nga ba, Administrator, kasi usually baka malito yung mga boss natin, ano nga ba yung pinagkaiba ng POEA sa OWWA, sa DOLE rin, tsaka sa DFA when it comes to overseas employment?
To put it simply, ang POEA, kami ang in charge ng regulation ng recruitment and deployment ng Filipino workers for work overseas. So, everything that goes on, yung mga nangyayaring aktibidades para maihanda silang mag-abroad, yun ang rene-regulate namin. So, licensing of recruiters, make sure the employers are registered, make sure the workers are documented before they leave. So, before they leave. And then, OWA handles yung welfare ng OFWs along with the labor attaches on-site. So, kung may problema, monitoring ng kanilang well-being that happens on-site, that's DOLE, that's OWA. And then the DFA, of course, the ambassador in every...
okay, ngayon na-clear na yon. Ano ba yung mga proyekto na tinututukan ng POEA ngayong taon na ito?
Well, since nandito tayo sa lugar namin, it's apt to start with yung streamlining of processes. Kung mapapansin niyo yung flow ng mga tao is organized. Kasi designed yan yung mga where they sit, yung mga signages, etc., designed yon in such a way na maging orderly yung stream, hindi magkakaroon ng bara-bara sa mga crowd, and so people walk in and out smoothly out of the office. So the first thing is streamlining our processes. So we make processes easy, we cut down on steps. Sa balik manggagawa, for instance, from 4 steps, we cut it down to 2 steps, and then most especially yung mismong payment stage ay dinamihan natin ng cashiers kasi ang theory namin dyan, magbabayad ka na nga, tapos pipila ka pa, ay hindi dapat mangyari yon. So that's one, yung streamlining of processes. And the other thing is, yung ating anti-illegal recruitment efforts, which I understand you will take up later. So yung ating paniniguro na ang mga lisensyado lamang ang mga nagre-recruit at yung mga rehistradong foreign employers lamang ang nagkakapag-demand pag-recruit ng mga overseas Filipino workers. So, nandyan yung ating anti-illegal recruitment efforts, and I might care to add, once or twice this year already, meron kaming nadakip dito mismo sa premises, yung mga naglalakas loob na kala nila makakaloko sila. So, these are the things that we're looking out for, making sure that the recruitment process is honest, above board, and most of all, protective of OFWs.
Administrator, so ibig sabihin nito, yung mga maaga pumila rito, hindi yan pumila dahil nag-expect sila ng mahabang pag-aantay dito sa POEA. Talagang naging masugid lang sila, no, sa kanilang pag-ensure na makuha nila yung kailangan nilang papeles. Tama ba, Administrator?
I would say it's a combination of yung force of habit, talagang maaga magsidatingan ng mga OFW. Siguro that is a trait that they acquired while abroad, no? And second is, gusto rin nila mauna sa pila because it's natural na pagbukas namin, nandoon na sila. Usually we're open at 7, as you said, but on peak days, we're open as early as 6:30. Kasi we want to get ahead of the crowd kasi mahirap magkaroon ng backlog during the day.
Administrator, let's talk about the situation naman of our OFW. Saan country ba yung pinakamaraming OFWs right?
Ngayon, it's the Middle East region with the most OFWs, and within the Middle East, that's Saudi Arabia. For the last 40 years or so, around 700 to 800,000 OFWs in Saudi Arabia.
Ilan ba, sir, lahat-lahat ang OFWs natin ngayon na naka-place sa iba't ibang bansa?
Yung estimated stock, sangayon sa Commission of Filipinos Overseas, is 4.8 million temporary contract workers. Total is around 10 million, including the permanents, the immigrants. Pero sa amin, 4.8 million.
Is this a number smaller or larger from the previous years?
It's been stable for the last
Alright.
few years. So it will increase a little bit and decrease a little bit, but more or less around 4.8 over the last 5-6 years.
Okay.
In Saudi Arabia, anong mga industriya yung pinapasukan ng ating mga OFWs?
Well, Saudi Arabia, as you know, is an oil-rich nation. So yung oil and gas sectors nila, and then everything else that supports yung prosperity and economic development nila doon, such as yung basic services for their people, hospitals, yan, so medical services, and then yung kanilang services sector, mga restaurants, mga hotels, and then of course yung kanilang mga IT, information tech, which is currently booming, no, sa Middle East. They're beginning to develop their system, their IT system, so meron ding demand doon for mga IT workers.
At sabi nyo nga rin, administrator, minomonitor ninyo yung demand, no, ng overseas workers, overseas Filipino workers abroad. Meron bang malalaking changes so far, administrator? For example, I would imagine yung Middle East medyo stable. Well, ako hula ko lang yun. No? Pero for example, yung nurses sa US, nagkaroon ng time na hindi na talaga kailangan. Meron bang mga ganito recently, administrator?
Yes, well, in the case of the US and in the West in general, no, yung medical services, although there is a great demand, ay hindi ganun nakarami ngayon. If you're speaking of US or UK, for instance, bumaba na yung demand for Filipino nurses. Naghigpit din sila kasi meron silang sariling job market doon, national job market, and well, understandably, may preference sa mga nationals doon. So, for instance, in the US, yung mga nurses, either maraming pumasok sa nursing school, or yung mga dating nurses na hindi na nagna-nurse, pero dahil walang trabaho, ay nanumbalik sa ganon yung mga developments ngayon doon. Kaya, bumabawas ang job opportunities for Filipino nurses.
Pero currently, meron bang mga bansa na naka-freeze hiring pa rin?
Well, the most popular case of yung deployment ban in our case is Syria because of the instability there. So Syria, recently Iraq, but we lifted, the POEA governing board lifted the ban on Iraq last July 26. So basically it's Syria. And then on the labor side, there are 15 other countries na due to their labor conditions, not the political security conditions, ay hindi rin pwede pumunta ang mga OFWs.
Sir, nabanggit ninyo itong sa Iraq, no? At meron daw job orders ngayon mula sa Iraq. Can you tell us more about this, Administrator?
Well, in July 26, as I said, the POEA Governing Board lifted the deployment ban for new hires in Iraq. And ang nakikita natin dito is una, yung northern part ng Iraq, the autonomous region of Iraq, which is Kurdistan, would have the most job opportunities. And then, of course, the Iraqi government is saying na, speaking of, yung kanilang government hospitals need nurses. So that might also be an opportunity. But I have to say na sa Iraq, sabi ng POEA Governing Board, may 4 na no-go zones doon. Ibig sabihin, may 4 na probinsya na hindi dapat puntahan ng OFWs dahil unstable pa yung peace and order situation. And then, household service workers, hindi pa rin pwede.
And to give recognition rin to our OFWs, meron tayong 2013 Bagong Bayani Awards. What's this all about?
Yes, yung Bagong Bayani Awards is a once every 2 years awards event given to OFWs who have delivered exemplary service and OFWs who make us proud, no, in their work abroad. So we are currently accepting nominations for the Bagong Bayani Awards. Although yung awards ay matagal pa naman sa June next year for the June 2014 Migrant Workers Day. But currently, we're already accepting nominations. May mga 8 different categories yan. Puntahan lang ho yung Bagong Bayani Foundation website, bbfi.com.
Kung sakali, sir, meron ba tayong criteria na tinitignan? Or iba-iba ba to per category?
Iba-iba yung categories. Lang po yung criteria, merong age criteria as well as years of experience, and then of course you need to be nominated by an organization or by an individual.
Ano naman usually yung nakukuha ng mga nananalo ng awards?
Well, meron silang plaque that they get, and it's the president himself who gives the award, And it's a distinction really, no? Like the Oscars or some other award. And then dito sa POEA may plano dito, gagawa kami ng Wall of Fame. A marble wall that will have the engraved portraits of all the Bagong Bayani Award winners. So it's really a distinction more than anything.
Okay, so talaga namang, alam mo, Carla, I'm really proud, no, sa ating mga OFWs. Talagang dakila rin yung ginagawa nila, no, na may sakripisyo talaga na pupunta sa ibang bansa, no, para lang makapag-provide sa kanilang mga pamilya, no, at the same time nakakabenepisyo rin yung buong bayan, no, dahil sa kanilang mga remittances, no, na supposedly nga ay malaking bahagi ng growth ngayon ng bansa.
Kaya tamang-tama lang natawagan silang Bagong Bayani.
Administrator, siguro maaari nyo naman ngayong i-discuss, no, ano ba yung proyekto na tinitignan ngayon ng POEA para sa darating na taon?
Well, we continue to further streamline our processes. ISO certified kami. So we really have to continually improve our processes, and it's basically online. So we need to go online. We need to develop a system for our balik manggagawa ala e-ticketing system sa airlines, where people can just log on and secure their overseas exit clearances, pay their PhilHealth, pay their OWA, pay their pag-ibig, all online in the convenience of their own homes. And so, yan ang aming direksyon na pinupuntahan. Everything online, kahit na yung verification ng licenses, whether one is a licensed recruiter or not. We're currently in the works to develop a mobile phone app. So everybody can just check kung ang isang recruiter ay lisensyado. So this is basically the way to go. More OFWs are wired, and more OFWs are internet savvy, so we really have to develop our processes online. And then of course the other part, which is our anti-illegal recruitment process, is essentially to heighten our preventive efforts, education. Kung online sa anti-illegal recruitment naman, education of the public. They must know how to avoid illegal recruitment. And again, meron din tayong online systems that will be provided there. Yung kanilang online education modules na titignan lang nila sa website namin o sa website ng mga news companies, at doon malalaman na nila yung mga tips on how to avoid illegal recruitment.
Okay, exciting.
Ngayon, there's an application for everything.
Exciting na balita yan, lalo na para sa mga balik manggagawa nga. No? Ito yung mga manggagawa na galing abroad tapos gustong bumalik doon sa kanilang overseas employment.
Yes. Administrator, baka meron kayong final message na lang para sa ating mga manonood.
Well, the final message is ito pong inyong POEA, yung Philippine Overseas Employment Administration, ay nakakasiguro po kayo na we will continue to keep finding ways to improve our delivery of services to documented legal OFWs. And then of course, yung ating mga fight against illegal recruitment ay patuloy pa rin. Ang mantra namin ay maging matalino, huwag magpaloko. Ang siguraduhin po, lisensyado ang recruiter na kausap, registrado ang employer at ang job order nito dito sa talaan ng POEA.
Okay, maraming salamat, Administrator. Yan po si Administrator Hans Leo Cacdac ng Philippine Overseas Employment Administration.
Maraming salamat.